Okay, I'm gonna shift gears just for a minute to a couple of questions that are more related to the business aspect of multi-specific antibodies and bispecific antibodies. Um, One of them is around. I wanted to ask you a couple questions about your perception of the regulatory cadence process scene, and this kind of alludes to that. A question from Ada. Ada wants to know wants to know typically what legal and compliance department in pharmas what the legal and compliance departments in pharmas can do to speed up the marketing process. So, kind of stepping out of the lab for a minute, what have been your experiences about the influence of the legal, compliance, regulatory departments on the efficiency to market?
Yeah, so
That's a
one of
hard
the
shift. That's a hard shift in gears that I just asked you to
It's
make.
fine. It's fine.
It's
The
like
good
going
thing is,
from
Matt, I mean, sure, no. But prior to this call, I listed down for myself what are the aspects that I have seen over the years um, uh, that have changed, right? And obviously, regulatory and compliance is clearly one of them, right? I have another ones, and I mean, I mentioned at least 6 points for myself to bring up, or if it is not brought up in the questions. So it's absolutely is one of the key ones, and I think um, compliance is a very tricky one. It starts actually with understanding actually where the product is going to be sold or where it's going to be used. Often, actually, in Europe, the companies that I have worked with, these products are actually mainly targeted for Europe, US, and Japan, right? But when the requirements are actually extended to, for example, India or China, type of requirements are different. And those requirements lead, for example, on formulation side, additional regulatory requirements on excipients, right? Which, if it is not addressed early enough, it obviously leads to huge complications, right? So, what can compliance and regulatory people, colleagues do in order to expedite or facilitate drug development? That's a question, right, man?
Yep.
So, I think at first, I would say I love to see compliance and regulatory colleagues as partners in the beginning of the development and try to be more present in the development areas, right?
Mm.
Because I have seen a lot of questions coming from quality colleagues that because some of them, like we, for example, we don't have the context on quality. Some of them also they were lacking some context on the process. So please come to the floor, go to the labs and see basically what's actually going on, right? One. Two is that actually often in the CMC process development, they are integral part of the development. So in that sense, then they do have enough visibility there to raise the flag, raise the red flag, if GMP considerations, for example, are not considered for the development. And I think it would be good actually that combined with presence there, um, either regulatory colleagues or quality colleagues um, look a bit in advance, right? That basically what is actually, what are the requirements that actively from the environment they see and they can get it back to us with regards to, for example, the um, standard requirements that we need to comply with, right? And that is not only about the process, but it's also about equipment, data that is actually being utilized, and in the end, it can harm the final process. So that's on the development side. On the manufacturing side, I think it's basically a joint work. I've seen that basically the joint assessment when we perform risk assessment, when we perform FMEAs together, we get a very good understanding of what it takes to manufacture and what are the risks. And we build tools, for example, for comparabilities, right, that helps us to very early on and to address issues further. So I'm not giving you a very specific answer. I'm just telling you about some of the things that I have seen that were not working well in one or two occasions, and one may actually take it up to apply it in their organization. So it's a pity that actually, if I would have seen the questionnaire, I would have asked them basically, what are your lessons learned, or are you already applying them or not? But maybe for next time.